What is going on, YouTube? So just got done with my week 1 recap, or I keep on saying week 1, week 4 recap for the college football season. Now coming back with my week 5 college football top 25 rankings. So last week I actually did it pretty quickly. I'm going to try to do that again this week. Try to keep it under 7 or 8 minutes. So 5 outside. Start with that. Oh, as always, the entire list will be posted in the description below. So I'm going to start with Georgia. And again, weak performance last week against Ole Miss. There's no other way around that. The entire team did not look good. It looked like a young team, it looked like a newly coached team. It looked like kind of a weak team, like the way they had the 2 weeks before against Nicholls State and Mizzou. That's who they played. But anyway, like I said, kind of got exposed by a good Ole Miss team that ran into 2 very good teams to start the season. UNC lost to Georgia, but since then has looked good. Had a comeback win against Pitt last week against a good Pitt team at that. Oklahoma, we'll see this week against TCU. Should be a very interesting game. Both teams, Oklahoma and TCU, kind of proven that they were a little bit overrated coming into the season, but both teams are still, at least to some degree, alive in the college football playoff. I don't know if Oklahoma is. That'd be a stretch. A 2-loss Oklahoma team, I don't know, maybe. But anyway, at least a chance for them to respond in a big way this weekend. West Virginia, number 4, right now one of the, I believe, only 2 undefeated Big 12 teams at this point. Virginia Tech at number 5. And then, again, these are in no particular order. But Virginia Tech, like I said in the last video, man, they've looked good the last 2 weeks since they lost to Tennessee. Kind of gotten it together. So let's move into the top 25. At number 25, I'm going to start with Texas. So they have a game against Oklahoma State this week. They're 3-point underdogs. It'll say a lot about them. If they can beat Oklahoma State, hand them their 3rd loss in 4 games. Arizona State at number 24, 4-0 so far, and they've beaten some good teams. They've beaten Cal, they've beaten Texas Tech. I didn't expect this out of Arizona State. I thought, what's going to be sorry about that. It looks like teenager hair right now, or like a 14-year-old kid's hair right now. But anyway, Arizona State, like I said, I expect them maybe be a 6-win team this year. I expect them to be one of the lower teams in the Pac-12 South. But man, they've looked very good. TCU at number 23. Like I said, a little bit overrated coming into the year, but I still think they can respond. Maybe get Kenny Hill situated in that offense, get the defense a little bit more up to speed. Defense has not looked anywhere near as good as I thought they would this year, though. Arkansas, number 22, got pretty much dominated by Texas A&M. Trevor Knight looked really good against them. Like I said, Arkansas is kind of floating off a win against TCU right now, and we'll kind of figure out this weekend if TCU is what they were supposed to be. Number 21, we got Florida. Moving forward, we're going to figure out Florida if they were overrated or if they were right where they should be, and Tennessee's just that good. That was a wild game against Tennessee. Looked like they had it in control, ended up losing. Boise State at number 20. I think they've looked pretty good so far against some teams that are tough tests. Undefeated up to this point, and I think one of the best group of 5 teams in the country. Number 19, Michigan State. Coming off a big win against Notre Dame, even though Notre Dame looks like a complete disappointment right now, Michigan State did not play well at all against Wisconsin, got completely dominated. 18, Ole Miss. If they keep winning, then I'll slide them up higher, but it's a 2-loss team, so I'm gonna have some undefeated teams ahead of them. But again, very impressive victory last week to get them back on track. Number 17, San Diego State. Looked very good so far. Again, another undefeated team with one of the best running backs in the country this year in Donnell Pumphrey. Number 16, we got the Utah Utes. I thought USC would beat them last week, came close, but they were victorious. And Utah looking like the upstart team they kind of looked like at the beginning of last season. So we'll see what happens with them moving forward. I will be very interested in the happenings of that. Looking like one of the favorites in the Pac-12 South right now, though. Number 15, Nebraska. Beat Northwestern, so Oregon and Northwestern are back-to-back weeks, even though I think those victories would have been more impressive against those teams last year. Number 14, Florida State. I looked very good last week, got back on track, actually lower rated just because of some teams moving up, but I think they are my highest rated 1-loss team, which is deserving. So number 13, Baylor. Beat Oklahoma State. That loss kind of hurts me personally, but I'll hand it to them. They still look good. They've still beat a respectable opponent, and still right now at the top of the Big 12. So hanging on to what they can. But anyway, number 12, Washington. Able to stay off the upset, but that's still going to drop them a couple spots for me. Number 11, Miami. Miami gets a pretty tough test. It'll be very telling to see what they can do against Georgia Tech this weekend compared to what Clemson did last weekend. Number 10, Tennessee. They look good against Florida in that comeback, man. Proved a lot. Proved a lot in beating Florida for the first time since 2004. Right now, they are the clear front runners for the SEC East. Texas A&M at number 9. That Texas A&M Alabama game looks like it's going to be pretty good this year. 2 front runners out of the SEC West. Maybe barring Ole Miss, but Ole Miss has already got beat by Alabama, so Texas A&M's turn after this. Wisconsin number 8, like I said, thoroughly dominated. Michigan State has looked very, very impressive so far. Should be a very good game without Michigan this weekend. Stanford at number 7, comeback win against UCLA. You know what? There's a lot on the line for Stanford in the upcoming weeks. They have Washington this weekend in what should be the battle of the 2 best teams in the Pac-12 North. Oregon and Wazoo have been very disappointing so far, but again, see if they can get a big win this weekend. Clemson at number 6, big win against Georgia Tech last week, very dominant win at that, and they get Louisville this week. So see who actually is the best team in the ACC. Houston at number 5, absolutely dominating win over Texas State, but it is Texas State, so I'll pay attention more with them in their American Athletic Conference play moving forward. Michigan at number 4, a dominant win over Penn State. Definitely looking like a top 5 team right now, no doubt. But again, big game against Wisconsin this weekend. Ohio State at number 3. We'll see what happens with them heading into this week. I believe they had a bye week last week. Louisville at number 2, dominant win over Marshall last weekend. Again, playing Clemson this week. Alabama at number 1, played Kent State, so couldn't really gather much from it, but still the number 1 team in the country in my mind. Anyway, that'll pretty much do it for this video. I'll try to come back with a few more tonight. There's so much that went down in sports today, man. Between Arnold Palmer and Jose Fernandez. Man, that Jose Fernandez thing, that's crazy. But yeah, all that, and then obviously the NFL and all that as well. But anyway, that's pretty much it. See ya.